Football is back. Your Bills 2025 53-man roster has been revealed. Let's break it all down. What's going on, Mafia? You're watching the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith, and Buffalo made 27 cuts official on Tuesday, breaking the roster down to 53 players and getting ready for week one in the matchup on Sunday night against the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to talk about all the cuts that Brandon Beane and the front office made, plus who made the 53-man roster and what it looks like for 2025. But first, we're going to be covering 2025 Buffalo Bills stuff all season long. Daily Bills videos, updates, injury news, the injury reports. We'll be doing game previews each week. We'll also be live for every Buffalo Bills football game. Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, whenever the Bills are playing, we will be live on the channel as well. So subscribe and turn your notifications on so you never miss a moment here on the Bills Breakdown. We're almost at our next milestone of 5,500 subscribers. You guys have been showing crazy love and support to the channel, so cannot thank you guys enough. But if this is your first time here and you haven't yet subbed and you want free, informative Bills content every single day, go down below and hit that subscribe button. 125 left. Let's get into it. The Bills roster cuts. And a lot of these we've already talked about on the show in previous episodes. But DB Zy Alexander, Nelson Caesar, Garrett Hollis Jr., Rush Reiner, and then Matt Sokol, Elijah Young, Grant DeBose, and Trey Herndon were a part of the roster cuts that were announced 2 days ago. And then yesterday, we started hearing about a couple more. Mike White and Shane Buechele were cut, as the Bills are only going to carry 2 quarterbacks on the active roster. We then heard about Steven Gosnell, Laviska Shenault, a couple of receivers getting cut, Richard Goosedge, Jacob Byer, Travis Clayton, Dan Feeney, and Mike Edwards, all members of the Bills' offensive line. A couple of those names could be hitting the practice squad. Daquan Hardy and Dane Jackson were 2 names out of the CB room that were cut. Dane Jackson, maybe a little bit of a surprise, as well as a surprise cut in Jimmy Ciarlo there at the off-ball linebacker spot. We'll see. He's a priority practice squad name to watch out for as well. Some more cuts here. The last one that we talked about in a video on the channel is Edufwan Ulofoshio, and he was the Bills' 5th-round pick back in 2024. He gets cut as well. KJ Hamler news came in right after we posted that video, and then Kendrick Green as well was cut, along with Casey Rogers, the defensive tackle, and Derek Forrest, the Bills' recent free agent pickup back in March. He and Kendrick Green both signed the 1-year deals back at the beginning of free agency. Keontae Jenkins is a priority practice squad name to watch, as well as he suffered an injury and looked really good throughout the summer, but isn't yet ready to get out there on the field. So they ended up waiving him and will probably bring him back in some way, shape, or form. Frank Gore Jr. unfortunately won't make the roster as well. He's a 53-man roster talent, absolutely. The Bills just didn't have room on theirs. Deion Kane, Christian Wilkerson, 2 more receivers cut, and then Kaliki Latu as well, a talented tight end. We'll see if he ends up on a practice squad somewhere else. Zach Davidson, who boomed a 62-yard punt in the Bills' preseason finale. He is on the waivers now. Paris Shand, Marcus Harris, Zion Logue, and then Jordan Phillips round out the Bills roster cuts to get the roster down to 53. Jordan Phillips will be on the practice squad as well to be activated on Wednesday. So we talked about 35 cuts there, and I was a little bit confused when I was breaking down all these moves by Buffalo. 27 of them were made official, so I guess only 90 players were on the roster heading into Tuesday. They made 27 of those moves official, and then the 8 ones that we talked about previously were from a couple days ago. So 35 total cuts, 27 made official. Let's get to the Bills' 53-man roster. But first, a couple names going on IR. Maxwell Harrison, it's very unfortunate, the Bills' first-round pick from 2025. Presumptive CB2 next to Christian Benford and Taron Johnson. He will not be in action for the first 4 games at minimum of the season, as well as Tylen Grable here, a depth offensive lineman for Buffalo. He's undergoing concussion recovery and protocol, and it seems to be pretty serious considering he'll be landing on the IR here. The Bills also have 2 suspended players for 6 games apiece. PED violations for Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi there on the defensive line. Remember, they knew about the Hoyt suspension but did not know about Ogunjobi's. So unfortunate there for the Bills' depth on the D-line, but I presume when they come back, they'll both make pretty solid impacts for Buffalo. So get fired up for me. If you're ready for the Bills season 2 start and get underway, like today's video, go down below, smash that thumbs up icon. Everybody who's watching right now should go down below and hit the like button because Bills football is right around the corner. Quarterback, we know who it's going to be. We know who's leading the charge. 17, put it on your chest. The king of Buffalo, baby. Josh Allen leading the way there at the number 1 spot. Mitch Trubisky there at QB2. And I presume that Shane Buechele will end up being the practice squad quarterback that Buffalo ends up carrying this season. At the running back spot, James Cook leading the way after signing that 4-year contract extension worth $48 million. Get your bag, young fella. Ray Davis and Ty Johnson there will be supporting in the running back depth. Ty Johnson going to be that third down receiving back. Ray Davis can give you that pass protection ability as well. And the Bills are going to obviously carry Reggie Gilliam, who has been in town for a while as that fullback, has so much versatility on both offense and special teams. He's going to be on the roster. Wide receiver, let's move on there now. And it's the 6 names that we've been talking about in our roster projection yesterday. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Joshua Palmer, the 3 names you're going to see on most, if not all, passing downs for your Buffalo Bills this upcoming season. They've been written in Sharpie. And then Curtis Samuel ends up making the roster, even though he's still is kind of recovering from his injury, getting back in the swing of things. Only been in full 11 on 11s for about a week now. Tyrell Shavers, he made the roster. We'll talk about him in just a second. And then Elijah Moore, maybe surprises some people, but he didn't end up coming out in the second half of that preseason finale against Tampa Bay. So it all signs pointed to him making the roster as well, given the guaranteed money on his deal. But let's get to the man of the hour. Tyrell Shavers made the 53-man Bills UDFA back in 2023, and he made his presence felt in the preseason, folks. 6 catches, 123 yards, a touchdown, a highlight grab in that preseason Week 3 game against Tampa. This guy finally got a shot, man. He has earned it. Every single opportunity that he's gotten this season, offseason, I should say, he has taken full advantage of it. And look, man, you can see this guy climbing up the Bills receiver depth chart, maybe like wide receiver 4, maybe even wide receiver 3 or 2 if he ends up getting an opportunity this season, because every sign is pointed to he's going to make the most of it in the future as well. Moving on to tight end here, Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox are going to be your 2 receiving tight ends. They're going to be in most of Buffalo's 12 personnel. Jackson Hawes is also going to make this roster here. 6th-round pick back in 2025, back in May, I should say. And they really value his blocking ability more. Kincaid, Knox, those are going to be your receiving tight ends. And look, Dawson Knox doesn't have the ton of the volume that he used to have in this offense, but continues to be one of Josh's favorite and more reliable, consistent targets. Moving on to the offensive line here, where we had some questions surrounding what it would look like as far as the depth goes. We knew what the starting lineup would look like. Deion Dawkins at your left tackle, David Edwards at your left guard, Connor McGovern at the center, Osiris Torres at your right guard, and then Spencer Brown bookending things at the right tackle spot. Alec Anderson will make this roster as a backup O-lineman, as well as Cedric Van Granger, who we'll talk about in just a moment. Yeah, he's on the active 53-man. Ryan Vandemark and Chase Lunt will make this team, as well as Brandon Beane probably could not find a suitable trade for either one of those 2 guys. There were talks that he could end up dealing one of the Bills' depth offensive linemen here, as they had a bit of a surplus, you could say. Let's talk about Van Granger here, as he was activated off of PUP. So that means he will be included on the 53-man roster. No reserve, no IR, no PUP for him, and he will be back as he comes back from that calf injury. It's good for a Bills offensive line that, is going to need the depth. One injury and things kind of go to shit. So, like, Van Granger, an early round draft pick a couple of years ago. Glad that he's healthy and ready to go for this Bills 53-man. And then Tylan Grable, this came from Joe Buscaglia a little bit ago, and he said that Tylan Grable will be on IR to start the season, so he'll miss 4 games, and the Bills will now likely keep 9 offensive linemen, and that's what ended up happening. So with that being said, we've gone through the offense at this point. Does Josh Allen have enough help on offense? I wanted to ask Bills Mafia this question before we got onto the defense and special teams part of the 53-man roster. Yes or no, does Josh have enough help on the offensive side of the football to go out there and win a Lombardi in Buffalo? We get to the defense and the special teams in just a second, but I got to tell you guys about our sponsor on the program, and that is PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform because it's daily fantasy made easy. Football is here, and you cannot miss the action this season on PrizePicks, where you can win up to 2,000 times your money watching your Buffalo Bills. It's so easy to make a lineup. All you guys got to do is pick 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. PrizePicks wants to help you guys win real money in real time as well, and they're giving you $50 instantly for new users who sign up using our promo code CLNS and place your first $5 entry. Don't even worry, you don't have to win that entry to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. Here is my lineup for Week 1 against the Ravens, and they got a free square in there as well. James Cook to get in the paint, more than 0.5 receiving or rushing touchdowns. And then Josh Allen, more than 31.5 yards on the ground. You can take that one to the bank. And they'll give me Dak Prescott for free, more than half a passing yard. Take that, and then you can tell or fade my picks. Just make sure you go and do it at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you place your first $5 entry. You don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game All that information will be clickable down in the comment section and description of today's video. The defense, let's do it. Defensive end and your edge rushers. Greg Rousseau got that fat contract extension in free agency, 4 years, $80 million. He will be your captain on this side. Joey Bosa, the Bills' marquee external free agent addition, he has looked really good in camp and is getting rave reviews from this coaching staff, embracing this Buffalo Bills identity. Cannot wait to see him on Sundays. AJ Epinesa there for some depth, as well as Bills' third-round pick Landon Jackson. And Javon Solomon will make this roster as a depth edge as well. Moving on to defensive tackle, where there was definitely some questions when the Jordan Phillips signing was announced. We didn't know whether or not he would take up a 53-man roster spot or end up on the practice squad. It ended up being the latter, so the Bills' defensive tackle depth chart will look something like this. Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, TJ Sanders, their second-round draft pick back in April, excuse me. I don't know why I keep saying May. Deion Walker and then Dwayne Carter. Deion Walker has looked like an absolute steal there, who they got in the 4th round. Makes tons of plays in this preseason, both as a pass rusher and a run stuffer. The Bills could have their one tech of the future at an absolute discount. Linebacker, let's talk about the off-ball players here. Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano will be leading your ways here. And then Dorian Williams, Buffalo Joe Andreessen, my guy, and Shaq Thompson will round things out at the linebacker spot. Things look pretty good here. Matt Milano is obviously facing some injuries, but he looks healthy. He's in good spirits heading into camp, and he's obviously getting a lot of good reviews from the coaching staff as well, health-wise. Moving on to cornerback here. There was some talk that maybe one of these names couldn't make the team, but in all seriousness, in all honesty, they were going to go with this 6 no matter what. And you could throw Brandon Cotterton in here as well. We'll get to him for special teams, but he provides literally nothing at the CB spot. Benford, Trey White being on the 53-man roster bodes well for his week 1 availability, given that you don't see Maxwell Harrison on this room right now. Taron Johnson going to be in your nickel. Dorian Strong, Cam Lewis, and Jamarcus Ingram will be backing him up. Cam Lewis can play a little bit of safety as well. As we move on to the safety position, maybe the biggest question mark on the Bills' defense this upcoming year. Taylor Rapp and presumptively Cole Bishop will be your starting duo at the back end of this Bills' defense. And Tamar Hamlin and 5th-round pick Jordan Hancock will be backing them up. I have high hopes for Hancock here. He plays with a lot of energy and a good nose for the football and just makes plays out there on the field. So I would love to see him move up this depth chart potentially as the season goes on, and maybe this position doesn't become as big of a question mark and becomes more of a strength as the season progresses. Moving on to special teams here to round things out. Tyler Bass, Brad Robbins, Reed Ferguson snapping the thing, and then Brandon Cotterton, like I mentioned, will make this team, not Laviska Shenault, as we said he got cut before. Cotterton will be your kick returner and punt returner to round things out for this Buffalo Bills 53-man roster. So with that being said, give it a rating. Play some Madden with me as that season's fully underway as well. Give the Buffalo Bills roster a Madden rating. Scale it for me down in the comment section, 0 through 99. If it's 99, then this Bills team might be raising a Lombardi very, very soon. That will do it for today's edition of the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. We'll be breaking down waiver wire pickups and all the new roster moves that will come after the initial 53-man has been revealed. So give me a follow over on Twitter. I'll be breaking the news there first. And subscribe to the channel. Like I told you, we're covering the Bills all season long. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, let's go, Buffalo.